Is it hard?
Welcome to Breaking the Silence with Arthur, Nick, and Nicole, a podcast that dives deep into stories, struggles, and triumphs of extraordinary individuals. Join me as I explore powerful narratives, uncover hidden truths, and celebrate the voices that refuse to be silenced. Whether it's personal journeys, social issues, or inspiring achievements, the episodes are designed to enlighten, engage, and empower. Get ready for some candid conversations, thought-provoking insights, and a community that believes in the power of speaking out. Let's break the silence together. Welcome to another episode of Breaking the Silence with Arthur, Nick, and Nicole, where you can unleash your inner voice. Now, today, y'all, I think this is the very first time that I put a veteran in the spotlight, and we appreciate her service. Yes, we do. She is a 9-year Navy veteran. She has a podcast called the Six Figure Vet Podcast, where she highlights the success stories of veterans. That is amazing, y'all. So I'm ready to jump into this conversation and find out her journey and why she led her point to here as a podcaster. So after the countdown, please welcome Jailyn Powell to the Breaking the Silence platform.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, I had nowhere to go. They left me out in the cold. But look who opened the door.
How you doing? I ain't changed my screen. See, look at me. I'm just running through.
Hey, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being a guest on Breaking the Silence. I'm so excited about putting you in the spotlight today.
Thank you. Listen, while you was doing my introduction, I'm like, who's she talking about? Oh, that's me. I'm so used to it being on the other end, me doing the introduction. It's like, oh, that's me, right? So thank you. I
It feels
appreciate
different. It feels different now. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Jailyn Powell. I am a 9-year Navy veteran. I joined the military right after high school. Couldn't afford college. I'm from a very small town, Alabama, in Alabama called Sylacauga, right? Probably never heard of it before, but that's where I'm from. Couldn't afford college. And where I'm from, like mills and textile plants and stuff like that, is like a thing, right? That's where a lot of people work. And I spent one summer, the summer after I graduated, working in this plant making parts for cars. And it was literally you standing in front of like this conveyor belt and parts just coming down the line. And I was like, there's no way I can do this for the rest of my life. Like, there's no way I can do this. Like, and I knew people that had retired and did all these things from these type of jobs, but I was just like, I can't, I just don't see myself surviving this. So I was like, okay, I can't afford school. I don't want to work here. Let's see what else we can do. And it was like the military. So I was like, okay, bet I'm gonna join the military. I heard the Army and the Marines worked out a lot and I was real lazy. So I was like, I ain't gonna do that. Then I went to the Air Force and they was just like, they were super rude. They were rude. And I was walking back to my car like, man, dang, my plan didn't work. And a Navy recruiter stopped me and was like, hey, shipmate. I'm like, what? He was like, come talk to me. And I went, talked to him, Did really good on my ASVAB, ended up joining the military. And the rest is history. I served 9 years. I did 3 deployments and honorably got a discharge out. And now I transitioned from being in logistics, like supply chain management stuff, to doing mental health. So now
Mm.
I am a veterans mental health advocate and life coach.
Nice. I love it. Wow. So you didn't tell me all of that before you got up here that you was a life coach. Wow. I
Little
love
surprise,
it.
little surprise.
Surprise, right? You come up here with these surprises. So tell me, how did your podcasting journey start?
So my podcasting journey actually started. So I've been had this idea, but fear is such an ugly thing, right? So back in 2000, I got out of the military in 2021. So 2022, I started doing I got into life coaching, and then I started doing veterans life coaching, and I just had this grand like plan, like, okay, this is I want to do something related to the veterans, but I just had like a billion ideas. I wanted to start a consulting firm. I wanted to do, you know, coaching. I just wanted to do everything as it related to veterans. And it hit me like, what would be called so dope if I started a podcast that showcased the success stories of Black and Brown veterans. So I did my first 3 episodes and I never aired them. This was in 2022. I mean, I paid for the masters for my podcast song. Got signed up for Apple Podcasts, all put my podcast on all the platforms. Did the jingle, did 3 episodes where I had 2 guests, did my own story, started the YouTube channel, and I literally just stopped.
What?
I mean, everything was done. I just stopped. And then I want to say it was last year in like maybe October, November. Um, God just kept like, yo, you need to do this. You need to do this. Like, you're being disobedient at this point because I'm telling you to do this and you ain't doing it. And so I was like, all right, well, let me fast. Let me fast. And then after the fast, after I commit to this fast, I'm going to put in the work. And if I'm able to put in the work, you show me some type of fruit, I'll do it. And I completed the fast, and I did my first like 4 or 5 videos, my first 4 or 5 episodes, and I ended up landing like a really big guest. Like, so I just started doing like visuals. My first 4 or 5 guests, well, my third guest, she has like 3 million followers on Instagram and like 1 million followers on
Wow.
YouTube. Right. She's been at the BET Awards. Essence magazine has covered her. She was like a really big guest. She's her name is Kimmy Creations.
Mm.
She does the cooking videos, and she's a Navy veteran. And so God he just like kept showing favor over my podcast and letting me know that's what I'm supposed to do. And I ended up being able to produce 19 episodes my first season. So yeah, I felt like it was just there's a lot of space in podcasting, right? And then there's
Yes.
a lot of areas for veterans and military, but there's not I didn't see a lane for Black veterans and what we
Wow.
had done and what we had accomplished and all the trials and tribulations that we faced in the service and how we were able to overcome those things and make something dope of ourselves after getting out. So I was like, as I began to research different podcasts for veterans, none of them really look like me and none of them talk like me. Like, I'm rugged around the edges. All my military veteran friends and people that still serve, they rugged around the edges, like we regular folks. So I didn't see that. I didn't see people like from Compton, from Alabama, from New York, from Houston, embracing their culture but still, respecting their veteran
Mhm.
background. I didn't see that. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a lane for us. And that's what I did.
Nice. So that explains why I only seen like a couple of videos on YouTube. So you was
Yes.
audio before that.
I was straight art, and it's crazy because even though I was audio only, I was still landing major guests, like, and really dope guests, like business owners, social media influencers. I've had a couple social media influencers on there, like um politicians, like really big guests on my podcast, and it was completely audio. So I'm really looking forward to season 2 coming out, and it being, having that visual piece. It'll be more visual
Mhm.
pieces. I think it's gonna be dope.
Nice. Wow. See, you were walking in your purpose and you were
Yeah.
trying to run from that purpose. That's what was going on.
Call me Lil
Seriously.
Jonah.
You wrong for that now. So what is the story behind the name of your podcast?
So the six figure vet, where I'm from, people don't see six figures, right? And getting out the military, like I said, most of my friends I have a diverse group of friends, but the majority of my circle of veteran friends, they're black. They look like me, right? And all of us make six figures. Like about 95%, probably a little higher than that, probably like 97% of my friends, we're all in the six figure range. And we all black. And um it feels good.
No, it
Like
do.
it feels really good to be a black, young, successful person making that amount of money. And a lot of times when I feel like when veterans get out, that's the piece that they're worried about. They're worried about, okay, you know what I'm saying? I know I got to do all this, but I need to figure out how I'm gonna get this money. I need to figure out how I'm gonna replace this income. So I end up making my first six figures after I left the military, right? So made my first six figures after leaving the military, and all of the veterans, well, a big portion of the veterans that I have on my podcast, they're in the six figure range. And if they're not in the six figure range, the ideas and the seeds that they're planting, that they come on my podcast and talk
Mhm.
about, um they'll be there soon. And so I just want to give the active duty service member, the black active duty service member, and the black veteran hope, right? Like, you can make that amount of money. And let me show you, because I got a team of people that I interview on a constant that has done it. And they're going to tell you how they got to the bag. They're going to tell you the trials and tribulations that they faced. So that's where the name came from. All my guests are, well, the big portion of my guests, they're six figure earners. And I'm a six figure veteran as well.
Wow. So how do you think, you being in the military has shaped your success as a podcaster?
Um, how do I think being in the military shape? So for one, I believe that if it wasn't for me being in the military, that I wouldn't have had the goal of trying to start a podcast. Like, I've had the idea, like, of starting a podcast about random topics, but it was like I didn't know what to say.
Mhm.
And whenever you get into this content creating space, or just in business in general, the one question you need to ask yourself is, what problem do I solve? What can I give the world that they already don't have? Um, and before I start working with veterans, I was doing the life coaching thing. So I knew, like, how I wanted my business structure, right? So I knew I was gonna serve people and then make content out of it. And I wanted different streams of income coming from both sectors. So I'm like, okay, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start, my demographic was um black women that had made their first six figures
Mm.
and overcoming imposter syndrome and all that stuff. But I'm like, how can I help them or be their life coach or provide them with any insight when I have those same struggles. I don't know the answers to these things. I'm struggling. Like, how am I help you? I don't even know. Like, so I'm like, all right, I can't do that. Um, and then I was sitting at my desk one day and it was like, Jailyn, what problem do you solve? And it was like helping people get out the military.
Mm.
So with that thought and with God kind of giving me that light bulb moment, um, that's kind of how it all just kind of fell into place. So I feel like without the military, everything that I went through to even put me in the military, and not being able to afford college. And then I'm going to the military, and then getting pregnant with my son and having to get out the military. It all was in divine purpose, because
Mm-hmm.
now it literally set the foundation for my story. And so without the military, there would be no six-figure vet,
Mm.
because I wouldn't be a veteran.
Wow. Wow. Alignment. Everything is in alignment.
Man, talk about it.
Period.
Talk
Period.
about it.
So I'm gonna play them a snippet of, and it was hard for me to do this because I'm like, I watched this episode and I was like, nah, they dropping so many gems in this episode. I want to play the whole thing, but I just got a little snippet. So we're gonna play a snippet of one of your episodes.
All right.
especially
Definitely.
for the mothers, you know what I'm saying? It's the dads too, you know what I'm saying? But because you got to be there fully for your kids, you know what I'm saying? So just spending time by yourself too, making sure you get time by yourself. That's important.
Speaking of time by yourself, tell us, one thing I really like about your platform and your presence on social media, you speak a lot about self-care. And for you to be a Black male, I don't like how social media trying to do the whole, what is it, soft man era? No, it's nothing. It's nothing simp or soft about a man taking care of himself. So what does self-care look like to you? And you mentioned a morning routine, so let us in on your morning routine.
Yeah. So so if I don't have school, I like to get up. I like to get up around 6. I just like to think to myself, like just think a little bit. I might write something down, but it's just me sitting in my own thoughts for a little bit. Pray, read my Bible scripture, pray. After that, I'll check my notifications on all my platforms real quick, and then make myself some breakfast. Just chill, you know what I'm saying? Gather my thoughts and go to.
That was an amazing episode, man.
Shout out to Ali Banks though, from Chicago. He's a definitely very successful veteran with a very bright future. Yeah, but that was a really good episode. Ali came through and dropped some major gems for the Black man.
He really did. Like, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna clip all of this. I said, I want to play the whole thing. I know I can't. It was like 30 minutes. I was like, why she do me like this now?
Listen, imagine me. I'm on social media like, dang, what I'm gonna post? Like, how I'm gonna break this up? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good episode. He definitely made it hard to
Yes.
to do.
Yes. So now, is that one of your favorite episodes? I hate asking podcasters this question because I can't answer it. But if you had to choose one of your favorite episodes, what would it be?
You know what's crazy? One of my favorite episodes will have to be one of the audio only episodes, and it was I think it's called From Rags to Riches. So it was
Mm,
actually my uncle. My uncle, me and him are the only two people that joined the military from like my grandmother's lineage. So, and he just got on there, and it was just, there was so many things that I did not know.
mm.
So many things that I didn't know. My uncle grew up in the projects, really rough neighborhood, right? And now he owns blocks
Wow.
blocks back in my hometown. And he just dropped gems on like how you got to tell family no sometimes, setting yourself and denying yourself. If you want to become the person that you want to become in 10 years, you're going to have to tell the person today no. And you're going to have to practice a lot of self-discipline to become who you want to become at 40 and 50. So he just dropped so many gems, and it was just it was like interviewing Master Sensei or something. So I think that
Mm.
episode was really, really, really dope.
Wow, it's crazy that you say that because all my life I've been told that you got to learn how to say no. But
Man,
that's
what?
hard to tell people that you love no. How
Man,
do you
what?
do that?
Your mama, your children, your siblings, like and it don't never be like no random person. It's easy to tell them no. The people that that you love, that you have struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
Once you reach a certain pinnacle of success, it you start dealing with those that feel obligated to your stuff, and
Yes.
figuring out how to set boundaries around that. Like, hey, I love you and I know that, you know what I'm saying, you know I got you, but if I keep pouring out every raindrop as soon as it hit my cup, when am I gonna be filled?
Well, that's true. If you look at it that
Never.
way, you
Like
never.
it'll never be if I'm always just pouring, 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 and I want God to overflow me so
Mhm,
that my cup is filled and I pour on other people. It
mhm.
wasn't made for every time I get a drop. Every time He put a penny in my thing, I give it back out, and I'm just constantly robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, let me build a foundation for us, and I can't do that if I'm constantly giving, giving, giving. Sometimes you have to be selfish, and I think that we as a society, especially as Black people, we have made folks feel guilty about being selfish.
Yes, yes, we have. You're absolutely right. You know, when somebody in the family is selfish and they got all this money, and you go to them and ask them for something, and the first time they say no, we're like, well, he got all this money. Why he can't give us none? That's how it is, though. You're right.
That's exactly how it is.
Wow.
That's exactly how it is.
It's sad though. It's sad. So we were talking about this a little bit backstage. What is the most rewarding part about being a podcaster?
The most rewarding part about being a podcaster, and I didn't even think that it was going to be rewarding, honestly. I thought the reward, I was kind of shallow and vain when I first started my podcast. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get Instagram famous, I'm gonna be TikTok famous, I'm gonna get these brand deals.
Mhm.
But what has been the most rewarding thing to me in podcasting is having veterans reach out to me and be like, yo, keep doing that. Like, yo, we needed this. I appreciate you for starting this for us. That has been the most rewarding thing because I thought, like, okay, I don't see no Black people doing this, so I'ma just do it. But to know that I'm doing it, and
You're
once I
helping people.
start doing right, I'm helping people, and other Black veterans notice the gap too. They're like, we didn't have this, we didn't have a space for us. We didn't have a area for us to, you know, to be celebrated.
Mhm.
So, you know, good looking for creating that for us. That is the most rewarding part, and all the other stuff is it's nice, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I'm starting to get a little more traction now, so I'm looking at brand deals and, you know, sponsorships and all of that. But as much as I thought that stuff was going to matter, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, having it's a sense of pride already being a veteran. We're a small community, very
Mhm.
small community. 1% of the nation is in the military or have served. But then you take and you shrink that down even more and you look at the Black veteran and all of us, and then once you start learning the history of how they set up recruiting stations, they put recruiting stations in the middle of the hood. Yeah, they do that on purpose, so you
Wow.
purposely targeting these people of low descent, of that are in the poverty, under the poverty line, or right at it, right? You doing that on purpose. And we deal with racism in the military, sexism in the military, um all type of different discriminations within the branch. So to create something that says, first I was born Black, then I was
Right.
born a woman, then I joined this predominantly white space, and I still made it. I still
Mhm.
made something of myself. Like, that deserves every veteran that I come across that has done that. I want to give them their flowers. So yeah.
Absolutely. Got to. Wow. But see, you know what? People paint this picture of the military as being the greatest thing you could ever have. And then you have people that go in the military and they go through so much while they're in there.
Yeah.
And they have to keep
Yeah.
it inside. They
Yeah.
can't talk about it.
Mhm. And it's crazy that you say that, because being a, and don't get me wrong, so for full transparency, joining the military was the best thing I could have ever done, like, in my whole life. If anybody come to me and they be like, man, I'm in a rut, I'm stuck, I don't know where to go, left or right, you know what I'm saying, bills piling up, I want to go back to school, but da da da. I'm like, bro, just join the military. Join the military for a couple of years. Set yourself up. They're gonna pay for your school. They're gonna give you a loan for your house with
Mhm.
no down payment. Like, it's a cheat code if you do it right. So
Right.
I am definitely pro military. I'm not pro abuse in the military. I'm not pro um I'm anti oppression,
Right.
no matter where it's coming from. That's what I'm anti. And I don't use my platform to shed light on those instances, but we
Right.
talk about it. Like, if I have a veteran on my podcast and they had to go through some things in the military, speak your truth. Speak your truth. Let's not sugarcoat it. Right? Let's not sugarcoat it. But I'm sorry, could you repeat your question? Because I kind of got off on a tangent, but I that needed to be
That
said
need to be
because a lot
said.
of people be, you know what I'm saying?
I let you have that. We was talking about the rewarding part and we just went somewhere else. But you know what? Believe it or not, I always dreamed about being in the military, but I couldn't go. Like I had kids in the beginning, so that was a hiccup. Then they said, "Well, you got to do this to go in." So I did that. Then my health started being an issue. So I'm like, you know what? So it's hard to get in the military for some people.
Especially now, like, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but before, now they have a system where, so before, when I joined, right, they ask you questions, you answer the questions honestly, of course, but say you forget something, um now is they have access to all your medical records. They
See,
didn't have that before.
nope.
And it is challenging. Like, you got to make sacrifices to get in. I could When I say I was the most out of shape person, and I'm young, but I'm smoking and drinking and doing all this stuff, and now you telling me I gotta run? Like, what? I'm
Right.
not doing that. That's a terrible idea. You want me to die? But I had to condition not only my body but my mind. I was young. I was 18. I ain't never been away from home. I love my family. I love my friends. I love my man at the time. But I don't know. It had to be God's provision and His grace, because even though I loved all of those things to the core of me, I knew that if I stayed in Sylacauga, Alabama, that I wouldn't have ever been happy.
Mm.
I don't think I would have ever found true happiness or peace in Sylacauga. I just don't think that. So, yeah, but like you said, it's definitely hard to get in, and it's definitely rewarding. We have all these benefits and stuff, and the biggest reward for me is like the camaraderie. Like, I have people in the military that I'm like they family. Like,
Mhm.
holidays, I'm flying to their house.
Nice.
They're my children, my child's godmother. I met her in the military. My godchildren, I met their mother in the military. My brothers, my sisters, where my son called them uncle and auntie. I met these people in the military. If they ever need something from me, like, I'm coming behind them. Like, it's a serious thing. So I'm closer with some of the people that I met in the military than I am like people I grew up my whole life with.
Right. That's how it is.
So,
It always that way.
yeah.
Wow. So now let's talk about the upside of it. What is the most challenging part about being a podcaster?
The most challenging part about being a podcaster is working with people. So, especially when you're a perfectionist. So, like, I knew that this was going to be a good podcast because you set your rules, you set your standards beforehand. You have people that will come on and straight disrespect your platform in ways that I see people, like, well, I've experienced disrespect of the platform or my own platform, is people showing up late, or people I had a visual podcast, right? Or people canceling at the last minute. Um People trying to be in a car while they on camera. Like, come on, bro.
You hitting
Like, have
all
you
the
ever,
stuff.
like, that? Come on now. I'm trying to run a respectable business here, and you up here just
Spectrum.
playing around. Like, that's the most irritating part about podcasting for me. I'll send out 1,000 requests. I mean, I be in people. I'll send out so many DMs like, "Hey, I checked you out. I like your stuff. You dope. I like to have you on." I be all on people live asking them to like
Me
I
too.
don't mind no's. I can take a no. Like, nah, your platform and what I'm looking for. I could take that. What I can't take is if you've agreed to do something, I feel like you're supposed to show up and do your best.
That's it.
Show up and do your best. If you are serious, because first of all, you are the representation of your business or whatever you got going on. So, and I'm the representation of mine. So don't come over here making myself look janky because you in a car and you ain't got no service and you going in and out and you all fadey. Like, be in a room. Or, oh girl, I know we got a podcast today. It's the day of 10 minutes before, but my baby here.
What? You didn't plan?
You didn't plan, like, or communicate 10 minutes before,
Something.
bro. Like, so, and I'm new here. Like, everything I do is off the muscle. I do all my social media promotion. I do all of my emails. I do all of my
You
editing.
better speak it.
Like, I'm a one-man band, so
One man.
I'm trying to figure out how to edit your baby crying out, like crying out the background. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to do this for real. I'm just going with the flow. You got me all on YouTube looking at YouTube videos trying to cancel out noise. Like, come on, man.
Oh
So
man.
that's really that's the most challenging part, is dealing with challenging guests. And the crazy part about it is it be the guests that don't really have a lot going on. Like, all of my guests that are business owners or social media influencers, or have some type of prestige, they do right.
Mm-hmm.
They do good. It be the people I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give you a shot. Like, I know that you're not into social media or whatever, but I know that you make six figures. So then I want to get your story out to give you your flowers, because it's not, I don't only give do podcasts for people that got a lot of followers on social media. I don't have a
Right.
lot of followers on social media.
Right.
So I'm not just trying to, only shout the people out that's already kind of got a name for themselves. Like, no, I'm interviewing truck drivers. There's truck drivers that are veterans making six
Right.
figures. There's teachers, there's nurses. I want to interview every profession. If you're a veteran and you making six figures, I don't care if you make six figures walking dogs. If you a veteran and you black and you make six figures, come holler at me.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just be unprofessional.
I gotta agree on that though. I was like, speak your truth. I'm over here like, yeah, somebody said it. That is the challenge. That is the main challenge.
Yeah, it's
People.
hard.
But people don't see that. They don't know what you go through when it comes down to production, when it comes down to editing, when it comes down to trying to get guests, when it comes down to putting a show together, period. Especially when you're doing it by yourself.
By yourself. By yourself. And I'm going to switch it up for this go around, but I'm putting out an episode a week. So, and I'm listening to the whole episode, going through the whole episode, making edits. And I'm a full-time college student. And I work full-time for the VA.
Mm.
And I'm a mom.
Your mom. I was going to say, you a full-time mom. Like, what you
And I'm
mean?
a mom. And I got other business like real estate and all this other stuff. So I don't got time for your foolishness. Like it's disrespectful to other people's time to do that.
It really is. It really is. You said it. You said it. Hey, I'm glad you said it. So I got two out of the box questions for you. Now they're gonna
All
make you
right, what's
think.
up?
All
Okay.
right. So would you rather travel to the past or the future?
Ooh. Um, do I stay there? Or do I go there for a little while and get a
Just
glimpse?
travel. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would rather go to the future.
Mm. Why though?
I know what happened in the past,
That's
and I
true.
believe in God's divine timing for everything. And I feel like if and I also believe in collateral beauty. So if I go back in time and I try to change something that was painful or do something different, it might have been painful in that moment. It might have been ugly and terrible and horrific in that moment. but it led me to somewhere beautiful.
Mm.
Even in this moment, I'm going through things. It's just like, God dang, what is this? But I know that God doesn't, nothing goes to waste with him.
No,
Nothing goes to waste. So why would I change anything he's already put his perfect hand on? And I definitely ain't trying to relive none of it.
I know
Like
that's right.
I understand, but I ain't trying to go through it again. So just take me to the future and let me see if I got a Bugatti.
I'm done. I like that answer. I like that answer. So this next question is another one. Okay, so if you could ask God
Hmm.
one question, what would that be?
If I can ask, if I can ask God one question,
Making you think. Like, oh
I
man.
would say, God, is what I'm doing pleasing you? Is is my life edifying? What 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 am I what do I need to do to please you?
Now, you didn't ask about 3 questions. See, that you only had one question.
Okay, so it would be, is the path that I'm on right now and how I'm living my life right now,
Mm,
is it pleasing to you?
that's a
And if
good.
he says yes, then I'll keep doing what I'm doing. And if he says no, then I'll make adjustments.
I know that's right. So, what do you hope that your listeners can take away from your podcast?
Inspiration and motivation. I think that sometimes we lose faith because it seems so unobtainable. Like it really makes a difference. I want to be in the room with my listeners, and I want my listeners to feel like they're in the room with me. Um, if you listen to Beyonce every day, you will we think of these celebrities like Beyonce or like Jay-Z or Nas or whoever you like to listen to, and we give them this godlike complex, but they're
Mm,
people. So I try to get people, like, I want to give you hope. Like, that's you. That could be you. Like, you ain't gotta be. It would be times that I would be in the military and I'm like, dang, she doing so good on the outside. Or dang, I hope I'm able to do this. But I had to get in them rooms to make it real for
mhm,
me, to make it tangible.
mhm.
Certain things you have to be in the midst of. You have to be
Right.
in the atmosphere of, so it'll be tangible for you. And I just hope that my podcast makes it tangible for my listeners. I hope that my podcast makes. I hope that a single father listens to my podcast and realize, like, yeah, it gets better because it got better for him. Or a single mother watches my podcast and realize, like, I can own real estate. I can go back to school and get my degree with my baby on my hip. Why can I do that? Because I see somebody that look like me. She did it. And she ain't no better than me. She country and ghetto just like me. She wear her hoop earrings and her locked hairstyle just like me. So what makes her any different from me? That's what I hope that my podcast does. I hope that it gives people the inspiration to dream big, and to not only dream big, but to know that those dreams are obtainable.
I love it, man. You're so amazing. I love the message that you send to people, and I'm just over here like, wow.
Thank
So,
you.
what I want you to do, this is the BTS 30 seconds of fame.
All right.
I'm gonna do your countdown. And I want you to give some advice to people in general of our culture, about pushing, just motivate them and then tell them where they can follow your journey on for your podcast or anything that you have going on. I want you to shine as bright as you can after this countdown. You're going to be on the platform, but I have to tell everybody you're going to be up here by yourself. I'm going to be down below. So the spotlight is on you. All
All
right.
right. 30 seconds.
I say 30 seconds, but deliver that message. That's all I'm going to say. Deliver that
Gotcha.
message.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, I had nowhere to go. They left me out in the cold. But look who opened the door.
Okay, it's a six-figure vet here, and on my 30 seconds of fame, the one piece of advice I want to give people is there's growth in solitude, especially for the Black community. A lot of times we group ourselves in these familiar environments, and sometimes you have to remove yourself from those places in order to truly grow. So just know that there's a lot of growth in solitude. Please follow me on all social media platforms at the six figure vet, no slashes, no numbers. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube at the six figure vet. Be on the lookout for season 2. It's coming soon to you. Also follow me on all podcasting platforms. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your favorite podcast. The Six Figure Vet loves y'all. Bye.
So my six-figure vet loves y'all. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on my platform and gracing it with these amazing gems that you dropped.
No, thank you for
I wish
having
you
me.
nothing but success. I'm proud of you. Thank you for your service, and thank you for everything that you put on this platform today and drop. Somebody's gonna learn from it. Somebody's like, okay, yeah, she can do it. Yeah, I can do it too. So your
Right.
message is gonna get out there strong. It's already out there. Somebody
Right.
already
We
looking
live,
at you.
baby.
Yeah, we up. So thank you again, and I look forward to working with you in the future. And I'm
Most
rooting for you.
definitely. All right. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much. Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful platform. I'm giving you your flowers as well. This is dope. Podcasting ain't easy, but you're doing an amazing job. You definitely got something special. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come on your platform today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That the words from your mouth and every guest that come up here to tell me that, it makes me keep going and keep pushing, because
Yes.
that means I'm doing something right somewhere.
Yes.
And thank you so much to everybody else out there that's been tuned into this amazing episode. Y'all, I'm telling you, y'all got to go check out some of these episodes. I got hooked on the first one. I'm like, okay, now after this appearance, I'm going to watch another one, because he dropped so many gems, to help Black men out there to get to the next level of living. Sometimes you have to see men in their vulnerable states. Not all the time men go there. So you need to check her podcast out on YouTube and try to watch those episodes. There's another one up there that I see that I'm gonna watch as soon as we finish today, because that was an amazing episode to see somebody vulnerable that way and her able to pull that out of them. So I always tell y'all, in order for us to get to the top, we have to do it together. We have to. It costs nothing for you to like, share, subscribe. So why aren't we doing it together? We'll get there faster if we do it together. But we're so stuck on the crab and the bear method. We don't want to see somebody do better than us. Them doing better than us. What is that doing for you? They're winning. We're gonna win together. Let's do it. So get off my soapbox. I always go there every time. So remember that you matter, your life matters, your voice matters. And whatever you are trying to do in this world, you can do it. But everything that you do starts with you. So look in the mirror every day, tell yourself you can do it, and what? Start the journey. Just got to start. So until next time, continue to break the silence with Arthur Nick Nicole. We'll see you next time. Later. Thank you for joining me in another episode of Breaking the Silence. I hope that you have enjoyed our conversation today and it has inspired you to think deeper, speak louder, and take action. Remember, every voice matters, and together we can create a world where we all win and no one feels unheard. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Stay connected with me on social media for updates and more powerful stories. So until next time, keep breaking the silence and making a difference.